Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Data Science and Innovation Showcase. I'm Lucas from the Domestic Recruitment team. Before we start the session, I would like to acknowledge the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, upon whose ancestral lands our Seabrook campus now stands. I also like to pay respect to the elders, both past and present, acknowledging them as the traditional custodians of knowledge for these places. So as we allow more time for attendees to join us online, we'll run through some tips for you to have the best experience for today. So participants' cameras and microphone has been muted to maximize the webinar experience. And please feel free to ask your questions throughout the session via the Q&A function at the toolbox at the bottom. And we will also endeavor to answer all of these questions at the end of the session. So, yeah. So welcome everyone who just joined us at the Data Science and Innovation Showcase. I'm Lucas from the Domestic Recruitment team. So in this session, you will gain insights into career options and development throughout discussion with our academic staff and industry experts within the learning design industry. You'll also be inspired by personal stories from our alumni and students. And apart from that, you'll also be able to discover our industry connections and how we tailor our program to meet industry needs, as well as learning about our program structure, study options, and including delivery mode. So to kick off the session, I would like to introduce our amazing guests for today. We have Associate Professor and Tony Huang. So Tony is our current Director of Data Science and Innovation courses at UTS and an Executive Committee member of UTS Visualization Institute. He is a data visualization researcher with expertise in visual analytics and human-computer data interaction. He designs visualization, user interface, and interaction methods to combine data values with human intelligence for effective data exploration, communication, and decision-making. We also have Anthony here. So Anthony is currently the head of data science at Blula. He has held a variety of analytics and managerial positions across telecommunications, media, and financial stuff during his career. In recent years, he also worked for multiple startups where he has the opportunity to be part of the growth by implementing and deploying innovation into the AI-based solutions. He's the author of several books on data implementation science, deep learning and reinforcing learning. He's also the current senior lecturer of the Master of Data Science and Innovation course by UTS and teaching multiple subjects of machine learning and deep learning. We also have Rizmi Tith, is a distinguished alumni of the Master of Data Science and Innovation program at UTS. So with a proven track record in the field, she currently serves as the data scientist at the Australian Taxation Office, ATO. So now we have the introduction complete. Let's delve into an exciting world of data science. So welcome everyone. Hope everyone had a wonderful day. Tony, Anthony, and Rizmi, welcome to the panel. So just real quick, would you mind introducing yourself? So Tony, yeah, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure, thank you, Lucas. So I'm Tony Huang. I'm from UTS TT School. I'm the course director for Master of Data Science and Innovation. And my research interest is in human-computer interaction and visualization. And I also teach visualization and also coordinate internship subjects for the course as well.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for joining us, Tony. Can you let us know what Data Science and Innovation program is and who it is for? And what basically makes the Data Science and Innovation program at UTS stand out amongst similar data science programs out there?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So Master of Data Science and Innovation is for anyone who has a bachelor degree to study anything related to data science. So we teach technical data science skills, for example, machine learning, deep learning, big data engineering, statistical thinking. We also use a various of training method to help our students to be innovative, to have a critical thinking. What make our program stand out? There are many different ways. One of the significant one is that we have innovation component as part of our program. So we not only teach our students technical knowledge and skills, we also teach our students some soft skills, for example, team working, and also communication skills. And also we train our students to have ethical thinking and critical thinking when they address data science problems in real world. I will give more details about the unique features of the MDSI later on.
Thank you very much, Tony. So let's go to Anthony. Welcome to the session. You're the expert here. So would you like to introduce yourself? And also a question for you after the introduction. In this rapidly evolving field of data science, what are the most significant challenges and trends you have observed happening in this industry so far?
Sure, yeah. So yeah, I'm Anthony. I'm currently working as a full-time head of data science at a company called Elula, and we're building AI services using AI and ML for banks. So we try to predict their customer churn, we try to predict what the best lead to contact if they want to maximize their services. And I'm teaching as well at UTS for the Master of Data Science and Innovation. So I'm the senior lecturer for the course Machine Learning and the Advanced Machine Learning. And back to your question, I think the biggest challenge is to stay up to date. So things evolve very quickly in that field. So there's new algorithm, new technology, new architecture. So I think we need to be curious and still be learning, just keep learning along how the technology evolve. And that will stay true for quite a while because that technology is not mature yet. It's still at I would say the early stage, giving a lot of promising result, but there's still a lot of things that need to be invented and built. Therefore, I think having that open mindset to keep exploring, keep trying, keep seeing what works, what doesn't work is very important. Then in terms of trend, we have seen in the last few months, it's a lot about large language model. So with ChatGPT and OpenAI, so there's a big focus currently on natural language models. But interestingly, I think the thing that we need to notice is that it's a very slow adoption by corporation for such technology right now. There's a lot of hype, so there's a lot of gimmick tools here and there. But the reality is that not many corporations has used it currently. And the reason why is because there are a lot of risk involved, like data privacy, security, data sovereignty, which makes things a bit more complex to handle, and therefore it's harder to implement them. So I think that's a good segue to our master. It's not about technology for the sake of technology. It has to have a real benefit, a real impact on the business and on people, and therefore be able to not only stay up to date, but as well understanding how it can be used or how it cannot be used is very important, so that it can have a real impact to the community.
Thank you very much, Anthony. Yeah, so in terms of learning all of the stuff and implementing, Resme, you definitely will be the person that I'm asking because you are the alumni here. So can of course, first of all, introduce yourself. And then this question would be, so can you share with us a little bit of your experience studying this course at UTS, and what did you enjoy the most in the data science and innovation program?
Thanks, Lucas. So my name is Resme. I'm an alumni of the MDSI. I started my journey in data science in 2019, graduating in 2021. And ever since 2020, I've been working in various jobs in the industry. I'm currently a data scientist at the ATO. And we definitely are implementing all of the things I learned during the masters in my current job. I'd say the biggest thing that I enjoyed out of the data science program at UTS was the ability to and the opportunity to collaborate with industry. So there's a lot of practical experience, a lot of opportunities to network, collaborate, and actually work on real world data science problems. My biggest sort of learning or takeaway from it as well, having worked for a couple of years now, is that coding isn't necessarily the most important skill that you have to have. Data science has a lot of different components to it. Problem solving and communication tend to be, the biggest things that you can take from whatever experience or background you have in whatever industry you're in, that you can take through into data science.
Perfect. Thank you, Resme. So on that note, what are the emerging career opportunities in data science in your perspective?
Yeah, well, I'll I guess expand a little bit on Anthony's answer, because it's very much everything that he talked about. Large language models are huge, and they're gaining traction, especially in the public eye at the moment, and that's where a lot of the opportunities sort of lie. Even in my workplace at the moment, I'm in a natural language team, and a big focus of our work is, trying to work out how we can use large language models for good rather than evil, and how do we manage all the risks that are associated with it.
Yeah, Anthony, do you have anything to add on to Resme?
Yeah, I think currently what we're seeing is that there are more and more companies that implement model and put them into production. So it's less and less R&D type of activities and not only for big corporations like Google, Apple, or Meta. Now, more and more organizations are reusing this technology and embedding into the day-to-day activities, or try to enhance customer experience or customer satisfaction, which tends again to shift the discussion and the narrative about business impact, rather than just purely technology and achieving high accuracy score or high performance metrics. Is really what we can get out of these models and how it can help businesses or how it can help people. So that's why we see the shift is towards more and more the end user, and therefore all these questions that are super important needs to be answered.
Yeah, thank you, Anthony. Tony, I have another question for you. So how can people best prepare themselves for these opportunities, in your opinion? And what skills and competencies do you think are the most important for data science professionals?
Yeah, I think the first, of course, take the Master for Data Science and Innovation course, so that you have essential technical skills and also some soft skills required for you to do data science job. Also, if you want for you to be prepared for this course, it will be good if, as I said, you have a bachelor degree. Even if you do not have a bachelor degree, you could have relevant data science work experience or data relevant work experience, so that you have some understanding about data, how data will be processed and analyzed. Yeah.
So, Resme and Anthony, do you guys have anything that you think would be beneficial for the others who would be preparing for this opportunity? And what kind of skills, in your opinion, in the real world like experience, you think would be beneficial?
Sure. I think for me, there's really three components. One is problem-solving skills, as Resme mentioned. It's here we're trying to use some new technology to solve real problem, real business problem. Right. So what we want is really to make sure that we have the understanding how to frame the issue, how to frame a project, how to manage it, and then use all the tools that we learn with the master and properly craft the solution to it. The second one is should be a no-brainer for people that play with data is analytical skills. So we use data to make better decisions. And that's not only playing with the data set, but as well for us as a practitioner, how to make good decisions in the project, making sure that we are making the right recommendation. And so we need to use data to do that and prove that we are hitting the right spot and achieving the right result. And then there's still some technical skills that are needed, because again, right now, the technology is not mature. You still have to get your hands dirty. In 10 years, 20 years time, maybe there will be less need to go to that level. But still currently, we need to be able to play and use the technology. So we still need to be hands-on and have some practice with it.
Fair enough. Thank you very much, Anthony. Resme, anything that you want to add on?
Just quickly, I guess a short anecdote, case in point is that, yes, you need some technical skill, just getting your hands dirty, playing with data, practicing, on a frequent basis will get you the skills that you need to do it. And also, the technology is evolving such that we are trying to create or use AI to our benefit, even as data science practitioners. So I am currently looking at finding a model that can generate code comments automatically for me for my work. So it's a time saver, it's utilizing AI, and it's also helping me do my work. In order to do that, though, we have to, have the understanding to verify that what model is doing is what we'd like to see as the outcome. So all of those skills kind of wrap up into this little example of how you would use it in day-to-day.
Yeah, thank you very much, Resme. So now that we have like a broader perspective with the data science trends and insights, Tony, would you mind maybe sharing some of the specific highlights or like features of our data science programs, and also explaining how they design to align with these industry developments, if that's the case. So feel free to share screens and to talk about the course. Thank you.
Sure. Let me share my screen. And I hope everyone can see my screen. So I will be very briefly to talk about MDSI and also highlight some unique features of our program. First, as you may already know, nowadays data is available everywhere in almost every discipline. And the data scientists are required by almost every industry to process those data for business purpose, ranging from finance, healthcare, manufacturing, telecommunications, energy, retail, to name a few. Therefore, there is a very high demand for data scientists in the market for data analytics and decision-making purpose. And that is also why data scientists are among the top paying positions in industry. This course is therefore designed specifically for data science, and data science is a multidisciplinary field requiring knowledge and skills from different disciplines. For example, math and statistics, computer science, business intelligence, and visualization. Further, in order for data scientists to process data, draw insights from the data, and make decisions properly, they will also need to have a good knowledge of data ethics, privacy, and security issues. And because of the multidisciplinary nature of data science, you will have more career options after you complete the course. In addition to traditional ones such as data analyst, statistician, and software engineer, you can also have options such as data scientist, data engineer, visualization specialist, machine learning engineer, and so on. There are a number of data science courses on the market. So why should you study data science at the UTS? What make MDSI different? MDSI is the only transdisciplinary data science program in Australia that has creativity and innovation components. This means that we will not only teach you technical data science skills, but also train you to have relevant soft skills through a range of in-class learning activities and assessment tasks. As a result, you will be able to approach data problems in creative ways, both from data perspective and from ethic and human-centered perspective. Our course subjects are specifically developed for data science and regularly updated to keep up with the changing needs of students and the job market. Not only that, the course subjects are developed in collaboration with our industry partners and delivered by current working professionals and our quality academic staff members. Throughout the learning process, you will have lots of opportunities to work on real-world projects with actual data sets. So when you are graduate, you are industry ready. Also, we understand that our students come from very different backgrounds with different learning objectives. So we have a flexible and comprehensive course structure with 2-year, 1.5 year, and 1 year full-time course durations, providing flexibility for you to shape your own data science path. If you are new to data science, you may take MDSI as a pathway into the industry by studying with fundamental subjects first. But if you are already you already have some data science knowledge or work experience, you may also take MDSI as a next step to develop more advanced and specialized data science skills. Industry partnership and engagement are a core part of the MDSI program. That is to prepare students to address complex real-world issues. Through the industry partnership program, we develop the course with input from our partners. We invite working professionals to teach and give guest lectures, and students have opportunities to work on real-world projects. Through our partnership program, you can build your professional network and connections with our partners and connect with your fellow students. Many of our students are also professionals. You could also have internship opportunities to work at the office of our partners, such as the National Heart Foundation and Orange Energy. MDSI has been designed for working professionals, so our classes are usually held after 5:30 p.m. in weekdays and during the day on Saturdays. MDSI is delivered via a blended mode, which means there are classes holding on campus where students get the opportunity to network and learn from our academics. Students are also expected to use online content outside of the class to study either individually or in groups. Most of our subject content and assessment tasks are project-based with real data. This means that students will get trained to effectively apply those often isolated knowledge points for real-world problems. They also have work-integrated learning opportunities through internships and work placement. Authentic assessment has been used for MDSI. This means that assessment is based on student performance in applying what they have learned in class into assignment tasks. And there are no exams for in-house data science subjects. But for subjects that are offered by other faculties, it is possible you may still need to sit in exams. We also provide additional support for those who need help. This includes UPass program. UPass program is designed for peer learning. It is run by senior students for students helping students. There are also students Microsoft Teams site and also Slack channels for networking, KOA, and job information. As you can see on the screen, this is the typical course structure for a 2-year program. Students are required to complete 96 credit points to complete the course. This includes 44 credit point core subjects and 50 credit point electives. The core subjects are a set of subjects for you to learn core data science skills, including, for example, machine learning algorithms, and also for electives, you can learn more technical subjects, for example, deep learning, big data engineering, and natural language processing. Students also learn to build real-world project experience, develop a human-centered perspective and ethical thinking on big data. Our electives can be chosen from in-house data science optional subjects and also from course faculty subjects. As I mentioned before, we have a very flexible and at the same time comprehensive course structure with a total of 36 subject choice to meet individual needs of our students. With this flexible course structure, students will be able to develop their own data science interest and expertise. MDSI has 3 admission points, which are for 2-year, 1.5 year, and 1 year durations. Depending on your qualifications and work experience, you may be eligible for one of them. For the 2-year course, students are required to complete 96 credit points to complete the course. This includes 44 credit point core subjects and 50 credit point electives. Accordingly, for 1.5 year course, students are required to complete 72 credit points, where for the 1 year course, students are required to complete 48 credit points to complete the course. For more details, please check our handbook online. For admission criteria, generally, if you have a bachelor degree from any discipline with a GPA of at least 4 out of 7, you may be eligible for the 2-year course. To be eligible for 1.5 year entry, your qualification should be from relevant field or you have at least 2 years relevant work experience. To be eligible for the 1 year course, you will need to have at least a bachelor level degree in a relevant field with a GPA of at least 4 out of 7. You are also required to have a minimum of 2-year full-time or equivalent part-time work experience in IT or data analytics fields within the last 5 years. In addition to the 3 admission points to our MDSI course, we also offer 6 months graduate certificate and 1 year graduate diploma in data science and innovation and micro credentials. Our range of flexible learning options in data science and innovation allow you to focus on developing the specific skills you need when you need them. We have 2 micro credentials courses, Applied Data Science for Innovation and Advanced Data Science for Innovation. These are 2 credit point online short courses and can be completed in 6 weeks. the credit point you received from the micro credentials can be recognized if you continue on doing the master level course. You may find more information about them from our UTS Open website, open.uts.edu.au. And I think this is all from my side. I'll hand over to Lucas.
Thank you very much, Tony. Here are some key information for our attendees today. Participants' cameras and microphone have been muted to maximize the webinar experience. So if you have any questions, please feel free to put it through the Q&A function at the bottom of the toolbar. So the next intake for our Master of Data Science and Innovation would be Spring 2024. So classes will commence on August the 5th, and application deadline for domestic student would be the 30th of June. And as for overseas international students, your application deadline would be 30th of April. And if you are an onshore international student, the latest that you can apply would be the 31st of May. Do note, UTS do recognize prior learning, and it will be handled in a case-by-case basis after we have received your application. So we also have some financial support options at UTS. Is available for Australian citizen, New Zealand special category visa holders, as well as humanitarian visa permanent residents. If you are an UTS alumni, you will also be able to enjoy the 10% discount, and we also have scholarship available online. So let's move on to our Q&A session. So once again, thank you very much, Tony, and our guest speakers, Anthony and Rizmi, for joining us today. So for these like AI stuff, it would be quite challenging from time to time for different like experience. So Rizmi, quick question for you. So what kind of industry experience and opportunities did you encounter while pursuing the MDSI program, and how did they enhance your learning in that case?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there was actually quite a lot. It was one of the reasons why I chose the MDSI over some other courses that were on offer. A lot of the courses that I looked at were very heavily theory-based, which is important to have. It's important to have a good understanding and the opportunity to learn the background knowledge that you need in order to work in data science. UTS does still offer subjects like that, but there are also, in addition to more practical components. So there was a couple of subjects where we actually worked with industry. It's kind of like an internship. There might actually be internships on offer now, where we had an industry partner. I worked with a couple of different industries, so a smaller consulting company, and I also worked with NBN Co on 2 different projects. I worked with peers during that project as well. It was about a semester long. We had data, we had a problem to solve, and we had a lot of autonomy in how we wanted to shape that project, what we would research, how we might approach the problem, and then we got to present our results back to the business at the end of the project. So that was really quite an eye-opening experience for me, and not necessarily what I expected to get out of a master's degree. That was also quite a good leg up in terms of gaining the skills that I needed to actually work in industry. A lot of data science projects actually follow that same process. So we have, we have to curate some data, we have to solve a business problem, and then at the end of the day, we have to make sure that whatever we experiment or whatever results come out of it, we can explain it back to our stakeholders in a way that makes sense and allows them to make the right decision based on that research at the end of the day.
Yeah, thank you, Rizmi. But some of it is like a lot of different stuff that you will learn as well. So Tony, quick question. So how flexible is the teaching and learning in this program, and what's the recommended amount of time that students should dedicate each week to study and do research?
Yeah, in terms of flexibility, we have a number of option subjects and electives. So our students could choose from a range of subjects based on their own learning objectives and also based on their background. So we do not fix our students' choice into a limited number of subjects. We also allow our students to choose any subjects from across the UTS. For example, if they want to focus on their data science in specific discipline, for example, in agriculture, they could choose a subject from that faculty as well. So we offer free choice options to our students. In terms of amount of time they should dedicate each week, usually for full-time students, that is about 24 credit points. So that's 3 subjects in total. We recommend our students to dedicate about 15 hours per week for 8 credit point subjects. Of course, the actual amount of time varies based on individual situations. For example, if students do not have much background for subjects, this student may need more time to get up speed. But if someone who already have some experience or knowledge for their subjects, he may need a less amount of time. And also, if students need to dig deeper into a specific subject, he may devote more time into that subjects. So in general, it's just it will be about 15 hours per subjects for each week.
Okay, well, that's some work to do. Thank you, Tony. Anthony, so a lot of people might actually consider studying data science, and they might also wonder whether it's the right skills or background for their course, because like some of the students might be switching from another area, for example, business. What advice would you give to those individuals with varying backgrounds who are interested in pursuing this program?
Yeah, that's a good question. We get this question quite often, actually. So definitely, I think data science is the place to be. I think we have a shortage for the coming decade of that kind of skills and role. So that's definitely something, if you invest your time for the future, that's definitely future-proof. Then usually what we describe data science as a mix between 3 practice: coding, math, and business acumen. And what we want is really to become a good data scientist, you need to be good in all 3 disciplines. So you need to cover all of them. Then it doesn't really matter which one you start with, as long as you want to cover all of them. So you may have some experience with coding, then you need to focus on math, you need to focus on the business acumen. You have experience working in the business already, then it's maybe more of the math and the coding. At the end, it's really, we are helping you to recover your blind spot and make sure that you have all the skills and experience to become a good data scientist. I know that there are a lot of people that feel scared because they have no coding experience. They are quite, when they look at some of the content online, they say, oh, I can't understand, I don't know how to do it. We can assure you that we have designed the course to help students to really smooth out the learning curve. And I do have actually a lot of students that have no coding experience at the beginning of the program. And by the end of it, they are very, very comfortable in writing code, in training machine learning algorithm, analyzing the results. So that's, I think, the specificity of that course as well is we're not focusing on only one side, coding or math. It's really all of these 3 components. Again, we're here to help you to become a good data scientist.
Perfect, thank you. I'm sure all the others will be a little bit more relieved when they hear that coding is not compulsory. So Rizme, just a quick question. So since you are graduates, when you were studying this course, did the program deliver online or face-to-face, or like, can you just like kind of like share your learning modes when you were a student here?
Yeah, the learning style for this course is definitely blended. So it suits a lot of different people who might have, you know, a lot of different backgrounds. It really suits people who are working. So I was unique in a sense as I started pre-COVID and then kind of finished the degree during COVID. So I got to experience both on campus and purely online learning and everything in between. It didn't lessen my experience at all, having all different modes. It actually complemented my kind of work-life balance really, really well. And I think that's something that they've kept through even to the delivery of the course today, is to keep that flexibility in mind. I definitely recommend, if you have the opportunity to go on campus and meet people, that's a really great way to network. There are some people I still keep in contact with who I was studying during the degree as well. It's great for opportunities later on in your career. But having that flexibility to learn online and do a little bit of self-paced learning was really beneficial as well.
Yeah, amazing to hear. So Tony, at the moment, from what you mentioned in the presentation, is still blended learning. But would you say that, like, for example, if there's some in-person classes that students miss out, some lessons will be recorded, or like lectures will be recorded?
Yeah, this is a good question. Actually, we have more students than before asking question whether our subject can be delivered online. I want to emphasize that the MDSI is an on-campus course. We deliver our classes in classrooms. So although on the other hand, the course is delivered in blended mode, which means we do have online content that our students need to study either individually or in groups, but we do have classes on campus. When there is classes on campus, we expect our students to come into the classroom to interact with our lecturers and also our students. Having said that, we do have lecturers who record their classes. So students, for example, if they can't attend, they can review the lectures, but this is not compulsory. So it completely depends on individual subjects. Some of our subjects are very interactive. Recording does not really make much sense. So just to summarize, MDSI is an on-campus course. We expect our students to come into classroom when there is a class.
Yep, thank you, Tony. Anthony, you as the senior lecturer for some subjects here at UTS, could you share some examples of some practical learning opportunities or innovative projects that students enjoy the most in the program?
Yeah, sure. Actually, in a lot of the subject, the assignment are project-based. So you really work on a real data set that the lecturer has designed and shared. And therefore, you're exposed really to the context, to the industry, and some of the specificities of that problem. And that's what a lot of students enjoy. So it's practical, but it's engaging as well. Some may have already worked in the industry, or some may not, but are interested to get a hand of it. And what we see as well is that the student tends to use that as a showcase in their resume when they graduate, try to find a job. Then they will use and refer to this project. So they are proud of it, the result that they got, and now that all the time they pass on it, it's something that they really resonate with them. Then we have other courses as well, like iLab, where you're going to work collaboratively in a group. You have to manage end-to-end projects. So in the assignment, in the other subject, they are quite a lot guided, but iLab is really, here's the problem. Now you can be very creative. You can design your own solution. You can design your own approach, and then you try your best to make that happen. And we have internship as well. A lot of students value that opportunity where we can partner with some companies that UTS has selected, and where it's a safe environment for students to learn, but as well to be able to help a company to deliver some outcome. And most of the time is some skills that they don't have, this kind of organization, and therefore they are quite eager to learn with the students. So it's great opportunities for students to really get their first foot in the industry, but having, again, that safe environment where you have a bit of mentorship and some advice as well from real professionals. So that's what makes the MDSI degree quite interesting.
Thank you very much, Anthony. So we have a question from the audience, and I think this would be probably directed to Tony and Anthony. So the student is from a computer science background. Is there any mathematical or statistical theory imparted as part of the MDSI curriculum?
Sure.
This is a good question. So the focus of our course is practical. We teach our students the real-world data science practice. Having said that, we do teach theories. For example, machine learning algorithm, statistic background. But our focus is still on practical aspect of data science. Maybe Anthony can talk about this a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. As I mentioned before, there's a real learning journey that has been designed in MDSI, and we want to make sure that at every stage you're comfortable with what you learn. So we try to be more practical at the beginning, so to make sure that you are happy to use this technology, play with it. And so there's a bit less theory and more hands-on. But as we progress, we get into more and more into the details because we want to get you into the more advanced concepts. And therefore, that's where we think that's the best time to learn some of this math behind the algorithm, because that will set how they learn, and therefore you will learn the limitation and how they are, in which situation they are good at, and how to interpret the result as well. So it's a blend of everything, but as you progress in the degree, you'll be exposed to more and more complex concepts, and that's where we want you to be comfortable with some of the basic first, and then step by step get into the more advanced level.
Yeah, thank you very much. So Rizme, so artificial intelligence AI continues to play a pivotal role in data science. How do you foresee AI advancements shaping the future of data science as a discipline, and what impact might it have on job roles, and specifically for you at the moment at the ATO right now?
Yeah, that's a huge question. It's a very kind of like a philosophical LinkedIn post sort of question, but it's one I think that keeps coming back again because it's at the top of people's minds. You know, we're only just at the beginning of the power of AI and what it can do to shape our lives in general. I feel like we've only really just scratched the surface. So the technology has been around for a little while. It hasn't really been widely understood by the general public. It's been held kind of just by, you know, those experts. And now that it's kind of opened up, we're really going to see a lot of exciting things in this space. At the ATO in general, we're trying to be across it all. It is moving very fast. We are following the trends very closely and seeing, you know, how people manage this space. I know being part of the team that does some work with large language models, the governance aspect of it, or the rules around in which we place responsibility, that's kind of where most of the work is being done, especially for the ATO. You know, we want to manage as much risk as possible. So that space is where a lot of work is happening. We know the technology's there and it's kind of humming in the background. And then when we're ready to explore it or have those settings in place to implement it, then we can kind of bring it out and see what it can do for us. I feel like that's probably where a lot of industries, even outside of government, might be looking at. Yeah, I think governance is going to be the first thing that sets the tone for how AI takes off in the future.
But first, May, we have a questions from the crowd. Want you to answer this. So can you elaborate more and share more of the real world projects or internship like opportunities in the program that can connect with students and within the industry or like with companies as well?
Sure. So some of the assignment, for instance.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, Anthony can go first and we'll come back to you, Resme. Thank you.
So some example of real world projects, we are trying to predict what will be the salary of graduate students. So say you graduate in 1 year or 2 year time, you find a job, we try to predict what will be your salary. And that's a real project that an HR company has or a university has. We tried as well to predict churn for marketing campaign as well, who is more likely to respond to an email. Or fraud detection as well for banks. So that's kind of some of the project that we have in the machine learning course. And again, that's really coming from the industry. That's a real problem that those companies are trying to tackle right now. And we embed that into the degree. Internship, it depends on the partner. It can be big companies, small companies. I think currently this semester, we do have some student that works for consulting company in analytics, and they're more exposed to big data and ML at scale. So it really depends on the company that you will be working with. But again, what we try to make sure is that you work on project where you can use your skills. So it will be not something that's not related to the program. We really try to make sure that you will keep crafting your skills and gain experience with this internship. So that's why it's good to have the UTS framework for that, because we can help you to vet some of the internship and help you to focus on the right ones.
Thank you. Resme, do you have anything that you want to add on as a student perspective?
Yeah, just a little bit to add on. I suppose because there is a lot of projects that get curated for the MDSI, you have a lot to choose from, and deciding on which kind of direction you want to take, which industry you want to work in is probably the hardest decision you have to make as a student. In terms of the experience, once you eventually go out and choose your project, no two projects are going to be the same. The way you get to collaborate with your peers, pull on their experience in their own careers to help you solve a problem is going to be the same whatever project you do. That collaboration experience is definitely going to be the same. And then you get to learn a lot from all of the different problems people are solving from those projects as well. So I worked, I did 2 iLab projects essentially. So the first one was with a consulting company. They were quite a small company. They didn't have any data scientists or data analysts or any data team that existed at all. I was kind of like their first intern per se, working with them. So I had a lot of fun, I suppose, trying to understand, the data maturity. The data storage was kind of in Excel spreadsheets. So I had to, do a little bit of rudimentary work to put all that stuff together and come up with a result in the end. In stark contrast, my second project was with NBN Co. They had this whole external platform that they sort of rented out to us, where we could securely access a small portion of their data. We could do all of our work inside of this particular portal or technology and have everything locked down and secure. So they were very mature in terms of their data processes and how many people they had working in data science. So yeah, different experiences, but I learned lots from both of those.
Oh, thank you very much, Resme. So with that as our final question, we'll basically conclude our session here. We'll quickly want to introduce you to this new booking consultation thing. So if you are a student that you want to enroll into the Master of Data Science and Innovation, feel free to book a consultation with our team to ask any further questions. And firstly, thank you very much for submitting all the questions through the Q&A function. But rest assured, if we can't go through all the questions, we'll also be responding to all the outstanding questions via email. We'd also like to express our gratitude to our guest speakers for sharing their insights, their expertise into the latest trends in global data science, and as well as highlighting the opportunities provided by our distinctive data science and innovation program at UTS. We look forward to the exciting future that awaits our graduates. For our audience here, we have our next intake in spring 2024. If you are interested, please feel free to book a consultation with our team. Our team will be running intensive consultation week from tomorrow, the 3rd of April to the 12th of April. So if you have any outstanding questions, please feel free to scan the QR codes and book a session with us. And yeah, please feel free to contact us on innovation@uts.edu.au if you would prefer to have any written questions instead. We look forward to supporting you, your learning journey at UTS. And for those interested, please remember application is now open for the April 5th, 2024 intake. You can submit your application via the UTS student portal. We appreciate your participation and we hope to see you at UTS very soon. Thank you very much and have a wonderful evening. Thank you.